Hola. It was a couple of days ago, and I was doing one of my movement explorations and was dancing just for myself, and I had this thought jumping into my mind that I think I was thinking as a child already, that if it was up to me, I'd be moving, performing, dancing all day long and not be sitting in front of a computer, for example. And yes, that just kind of, through being able to do more regularly my exercises and stuff like this, and my movement practices, that became very clear. And yes, in life sometimes does do other things, and then there's the whole chronic illness, focusing on getting that better issue thrown into that as well. But I just, it's so easy sometimes to forget the things that really light us up, I guess, and that we really are. It's so easy to get stuck in the head and go through these over-analyzing loops, figuring out loops, at least for me. Maybe you don't struggle with that, then be very, very lucky. Those loops. And my really good inspirations and ideas always came when I either was on a walk or doing the dishes or dancing or something, more being in a flow state. And at the end of the day, it's more acknowledging what works for us, and if deciding things by willpower and thinking things through, which does work for some people, but it doesn't work for me. So I'm happiest when I'm in kind of some kind of movement, I guess, even if it's the movement of drawing. It's a great movement when there's not so much energy, for example. But I had to, think back that also in times when I did my training in physical theater, how alive I felt doing that. Or also in theater and education, because also we had acrobatics and stuff like that. That was always when, I dragged myself there, no matter how I felt, no matter how tired I was. I would just go and do it because it was so important to me. And then I also remember, I think it was in my 20s, I had this idea that I wanted to have a cultural center, a center where you have a coffee shop and where you have different kinds of workshops. I think at the time my dream was to do something like that in Ireland, because that was my dream country. And how it is with some dreams, that never happened. And then that idea later on, I think I was already living in Ireland, morphed into this idea of having my own theater company and stuff like this. So I was dreaming along that side while I was kind of busy with trying to find places to live without being kicked out after a month because the house was sold or something, and a pandemic that was happening. So, and now I felt like, it is really, because I'm in a coaching session with someone in person. It was just also this week, I think it was so powerful to see when you do these embodied approach and using theater tools and different things. So just to see how powerful that was, and what a transformation just can happen within a few minutes. I think that was kind of instigated that idea of what was it? School of Creative Self-Expression. Yes, and that I felt like, somehow really taking people through this space where they allow themselves to express themselves creatively without editing themselves so much. And in a way, I feel like I've been doing this all along, you know. It just kind of, whether it was kind of directing a theater piece with 4 women, and there were so many transformations that happened there. And I just believe there's a great power in creative self-expression that can go in so many ways, you know. It's just dipping into who you really are and becoming more alive. And I'm sure I'm gonna get more ideas on this, but the first step is really combining, having a workshop, a theater improvisation workshop for people where they can create something new and show up with different sides of them they even didn't know, and then maybe having an open stage where they also can perform that, and with Dr. Anja leading through that. And so now it's about finding a good space for that. But I wanted to share this with you, how I think certain ideas we have can somehow, there's an essence in it and it won't change even though years pass by, and it's kind of interesting to keep track of it and to allow ourselves more to lean towards the things that make us feel alive. And so I'm very curious to hear what you feel is the next step for you that makes you feel more alive. So that's it for today. This is Anja, your creative muse. Take good care. Bye-bye.